What's happening, everyone? Pragmatic Addict here. I'm here with JTJ. We're back with, of course, the next episode of Beavis and Butthead Season 3. So, before I read these episodes' premises, I did look it up, and I was very excited for this episode. So, the first episode of Episode 4 is Nuts. So this one reads, Beavis receives the worst news of his life. So I was really looking forward to this because with the episode title, Nuts, we saw this clip in the trailer and I was like, oh my gosh, an episode where Beavis finds out he has an allergic reaction. But with it saying he receives the worst news of his life, I've seen plenty of Beavis and Butthead in my day. I knew exactly where this was going. I was like, oh, he's gonna go to the hospital because of his allergic reaction. The doctor's gonna tell him, you're allergic to nuts, and he's gonna think, oh shit, I gotta lose my nuts. So I was curious how long it would actually take for the nonsense to happen in this episode, because while the episode's plot does start immediately, which isn't like a crazy thing, like obviously these episodes are only 15 minutes, there is still enough slow escalation. And with the short runtime of these episodes, the premise also stating that Beavis receives the worst news of his life, I was really curious how everything was going to be tackled, what was actually going to go down with the short runtime and this build-up. And I'll say, the build-up of this, it was great. How Beavis is reacting to all the weird shit that's happening to his body and being oblivious to what's happening, as well as the shit that Butthead is saying. And when the episode gets to Beavis receiving this bad news, it was exactly what I had predicted. Well, not exactly. Not to the point where he thinks he has to get his nuts removed, but the doctor tells him you're allergic to nuts, so he thinks, I can't spank my monkey anymore. If I get a boner, I'm fucked. I'm gonna die.
Kind of reminds me of Beau is Afraid. How he thought if he nutted, he would die.
That's good. That's good. And just the ways that he reacts to this, it was everything that you'd want, that you'd expect Beavis to react if this scenario were to happen. And I'm just gonna say, all the emotions he goes through, like the anger, the sadness even, and with him trying to come to terms with this, like the quotes that he busts out when panicking when certain things are happening that he can't control, which he thinks again are gonna kill him, I had a blast. But also, the episode is weirdly dramatic. Like, it was effective enough where I was actually saying to myself, I want there to be a happy ending. I hope that he realizes what's really going on. But now, getting to the cutaways in this episode, so the first one wasn't like a huge deal. It was funny enough, and especially when getting to a point where Beavis is talking about himself in a certain scenario and the delivery from him as well as Butthead regarding this. But now, the way the episode closes, we get the return of another character. So this shows the return of Anderson with another one of Anderson's war stories. And I'm just gonna say, the return of all these characters kind of coming in all at once now, like with this point of the season. Not only that, but with this being the return of Anderson in such a long while, and it being something like another war story, seeing him young as well as the scenario he's getting himself into while being in the war, as well as the way it ends with the return of another character, not as iconic, but still like the return of another character. It was a nice way to end the episode. It's been nice to see how many characters are actually showing back up in this season. And just in general, this first episode was packed pretty full. I definitely enjoyed it.
After Beavis finds out he's not allowed to essentially nut, you just see all these girls right in front of him in scenarios that would make him, go boing. And then you see a comeback, no pun intended, where you see this chick from the episode where Beavis was trying to learn more about Jesus.
Wait, did that character show up in the past? That same character?
Yeah, she was in that Christian club, I think.
Okay.
I remember seeing her in that.
Okay. It's nice to see, again, like I said in the past episode, it's just been so nice to see how canon this season actually is. Like, we're seeing characters that came back from, like, past episodes that I didn't even remember. And, like, when it comes to older Beavis and Butthead, seeing the return of, like, that character Donna and everything whenever they're actually at this complex.
I thought the episode was going to end with Beavis, like, a chick actually throws herself at him and actually wants him in something.
I was kind of thinking that too. I was thinking that like it was gonna end where like Beavis finally, of all times, finds out that a girl like wants to be with him.
I think I'm gonna rate it a 7.9.
So the next part of this episode is Bike. So this episode's premise reads, middle-aged Beavis and Butthead pay a visit to their old friend Stuart. So I was curious what would make them visit Stuart. And the way this episode opens up, it was very unexpected for this plot. I mean, don't get me wrong, the opening was fun, just showing Beavis and Butthead doing new shenanigans, but it was much slower than I like with Beavis and Butthead episodes. And not only that, but a lot wasn't exactly happening. And I was just really confused as to how Stuart was gonna come into this episode. It really didn't at all even look like an episode where he was gonna come in. Like, there came a point where I was like, did the premise, like, what was that for a different episode? But the way he does eventually get brought in, it was just a scenario that felt classic, where Stuart just gets roped into Beavis and Butthead's bullshit and gets the shitty end of the stick. And the way he acts in general, like for his age, with seeing him for the first time in so long, just still being Stuart, it was a great episode featuring the return of Stuart. And just the background he has in this episode, just his life now, and how the episode goes in typical Beavis and Butthead fashion, but also typical Beavis and Butthead fashion when it comes to them being at Stuart's house, without getting to any spoilers. Again, it was just a great episode to showcase the return of Stuart. And I'm also going to give this one a positive review.
I think I'm going to rate it a 8.5.
So guys, that does it for our review on episode 4 of Mike Judge's Beavis and Butthead. We'll see you guys next week with episode 5. Take care, guys, and thank you guys so much for watching. Let us know what you guys thought about this episode in the comments below, for those that did see it. Take care, guys, and have a great night.